Take a deep breath and let's hear a story about Sam, a girl who transformed her fear of heights into courage in the heart of Seattle, where misty mornings wrapped the city in a gentle embrace. Sam lived in a cozy apartment filled with climbing plants and the soft purr of her cat, Luna. The walls were adorned with travel photographs and inspiration boards, dream destinations carefully pinned and annotated with hopeful notes. Through her window, the morning light filtered through sheer curtains, casting dancing shadows that seemed to whisper of adventures yet to come. Her trembling fingers traced the outlines of hot air balloons in travel brochures, while her heart raced at the mere thought of heights. Each morning, Sam would sit in her favorite reading nook, surrounded by the comforting scent of jasmine tea and fresh-baked banana bread. The soft throw blanket wrapped around her shoulders felt like a protective embrace as she researched Cappadocia's famous balloon rides. Her laptop screen glowed with countless reviews from travelers who had conquered their own fears, their words becoming a beacon of hope. The gentle sound of rain against her windows created a soothing rhythm that matched her contemplative mood. Luna would often curl up in Sam's lap during these research sessions, offering silent support through gentle purrs and loving headbutts. The weight and warmth of her furry companion helped ground Sam's thoughts when they threatened to spiral into anxiety. Therapeutic breathing exercises became part of her daily routine, practiced in time with the swaying of her hanging plants. The sweet scent of lavender from her essential oil diffuser filled the room with calming energy. Her sister Emma's daily check-ins became a cherished ritual, their video calls filled with encouragement and shared excitement. The string lights around Sam's desk created a warm, protective cocoon as they discussed travel plans and safety statistics. Emma's unwavering belief in her sister's strength became a foundation for Sam's growing courage. Their conversations often lasted into the evening when the city lights below twinkled like earthbound stars. The local coffee shop became Sam's second planning headquarters, where friendly baristas learned her story and offered their own tales of overcoming fears. The rich aroma of freshly ground coffee beans mixed with the warmth of human connection and understanding. Strangers became friends as they shared their own experiences with heights and hot air balloons. The coffee shop's playlist seemed to favor songs about courage and adventure, as if the universe itself was offering encouragement. As weeks passed, Sam began collecting small items for her journey. A new journal with butter-soft leather covers, a cozy travel scarf in soothing shades of blue, and a small crystal for grounding. Each item was carefully chosen, not just for practicality, but for the comfort and confidence they provided. Her packing list grew alongside her determination, each item representing a small step toward her goal. The mechanical act of organizing helped calm her racing thoughts. The meditation app on her phone became a constant companion, its soothing voices guiding her through visualizations of peaceful flights. She would practice these meditations in her bedroom, where the afternoon sun created patterns on her walls like abstract maps. The gentle chimes of the app mixed with the natural sounds of her neighborhood, distant wind chimes, singing birds, and the soft rustle of leaves. Her research expanded to include the history of Cappadocia itself, fascinated by the ancient civilizations that had called the region home. The stories of underground cities and cave churches carved from soft volcanic rock captured her imagination. Learning about the area's rich history helped shift her focus from fear to curiosity and wonder. The more she learned, the more she felt connected to the countless travelers who had visited before her. A small collection of Turkish phrases began to fill the pages of her journal, each word carefully practiced and committed to memory. The flowing script of the Turkish alphabet became like artwork in her notebooks, a meditative practice that calmed her nerves. She found herself dreaming in fragments of Turkish, waking with words like Yüzel, beautiful, and Caesar, brave on her lips. The language learning process became another form of preparation and self-soothing. The local Turkish restaurant became another sanctuary where the owners shared stories of their homeland over plates of fragrant kebabs and warm pied bread. The spices and aromas transported Sam to the place she would soon visit, creating familiar touchstones for her journey. The restaurant's traditional music filled her senses with the promise of adventure, while the warm hospitality of the staff made faraway places feel more accessible. Weather apps joined her daily rotation as she tracked patterns in Cappadocia, learning about the perfect conditions for balloon flights. The methodical collection of data and statistics helped transform abstract fears into manageable facts and figures. She learned about wind speeds, visibility conditions, and the precise timing of sunrise over the ferry chimneys. This knowledge became another tool in her growing arsenal of courage. Her apartment slowly filled with travel preparations, a new camera to document her journey, comfortable walking shoes broken in during long neighborhood strolls, and a Turkish guidebook dog-eared with notes. Each item represented a commitment to her goal, a physical manifestation of her determination to overcome her fear. The process of gathering these tools became a form of meditation in itself, each choice made with intentional care. Friends began dropping by more frequently, drawn by her growing excitement and offering their own words of encouragement. Their presence filled her home with laughter and positive energy, creating memories that would travel with her across the ocean. Each visitor brought a small gift or token of support, a lucky charm, a favorite snack for the flight, or a meaningful quote written in careful calligraphy. The walls of her apartment became a vision board of possibility, covered with maps, photographs, and inspirational quotes about courage. The visual representation of her upcoming journey helped make it feel more real and less intimidating. Post-it notes with positive affirmations framed her mirror, greeting her each morning with reminders of her strength. The collection grew daily, each addition a small step toward her goal. As departure day drew closer, Sam found herself looking up more often, watching planes trace their paths across the Seattle sky. The sight that once filled her with dread now sparked a complex mixture of anticipation and nervous excitement. She began to notice the beauty of clouds, the grace of birds in flight, and the endless expanse of blue above. These moments of skyward contemplation became opportunities for breathing exercises and positive visualization. Her last week at home was filled with gentle preparation. Long baths scented with calming essential oils, mindful walks through her favorite parks, and quiet evenings spent journaling. The familiar routines took on new meaning as she prepared to step out of her comfort zone. Each activity was chosen to build her reservoir of calm and confidence for the journey ahead. The city seemed to conspire to provide perfect, peaceful days for her final week at home. Landing in Cappadocia felt like stepping into another world where the soft light of dawn revealed a landscape straight from a fairy tale. The unique rock formations rose from the earth like ancient guardians, their shadows stretching across the valley floor. The air carried the scent of wild herbs and sun-warmed stone, so different from the familiar smells of home. Sam's heart fluttered with a mixture of anxiety and wonder as she checked into her cave hotel, where cool stone walls held centuries of stories. That first evening, Sam sat on her hotel's terrace, watching the sun paint the rock formations in shades of gold and rose. The distant sound of the call to prayer echoed through the valley, its haunting melody adding to the magical atmosphere. Other travelers gathered to share stories and tea, their quiet conversations creating a comfortable background murmur. The gentle breeze carried the scent of grilling kebabs and baking bread from the village below. Sleep came fitfully that night, but the absolute silence of her cave room brought its own form of peace. The cool stone walls seemed to absorb her anxiety, replacing it with their ancient strength and stillness. Her dreams were filled with gentle images of floating clouds and soaring birds, as if her subconscious was preparing her for the adventure ahead. The soft glow of her bedside lamp created soothing patterns on the curved ceiling. The pre-dawn wake-up call came with a gentle knock and the promise of fresh Turkish coffee waiting in the lobby. Other early risers shared sleepy smiles and quiet words of encouragement as they gathered for their respective adventures. The hotel staff moved with practiced efficiency, their calm demeanor helping to settle nervous butterflies. The darkness outside held a sense of possibility rather than fear. The drive to the launch site was filled with the quiet anticipation of new beginnings and shared courage. The van's headlights illuminated the strange shapes of rock formations, creating an otherworldly atmosphere in the pre-dawn darkness. Their balloon pilot, Mehmet, spoke softly about the perfect weather conditions and his decades of experience. The gentle humming of the van's engine created a meditative backdrop for his reassuring words. Arriving at the launch site, Sam was struck by the peaceful organization of the pre-flight preparations. The sound of burners testing filled the air with a rhythmic whooshing that somehow calmed her racing heart. Professional crew members moved with graceful precision, their quiet confidence infectious as they prepared the massive balloons. The first hints of dawn began to lighten the eastern sky, promising perfect visibility for their flight. The massive balloon slowly took shape, its colors becoming visible in the growing light of dawn. Sam watched in fascination as the fabric transformed from a lifeless heap into a graceful giant, swaying gently in the morning breeze. The heat from the burners created a warm counterpoint to the cool morning air, while their sound became as regular as a heartbeat. Other balloons around them went through the same metamorphosis, creating a forest of gentle giants. Mehmet gathered their small group for final instructions, his voice calm and reassuring as he demonstrated safety procedures. The wicker basket felt solid and sturdy under Sam's tentative touch, its texture grounding her in the present moment. Fellow passengers shared encouraging smiles and quiet words of support, creating a small community of adventurers. The pre-dawn light revealed faces filled with a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation. The moment of boarding arrived with surprising gentleness as Mehmet helped each passenger into their designated compartment. The basket felt more stable than Sam had imagined, its solid construction providing unexpected comfort. The woven wicker creaked softly beneath their feet, a homey sound that somehow made the whole experience feel more approachable. The rising sun began to paint the sky in delicate pastels, nature's own welcome to their adventure. That first sensation of leaving the ground was so subtle that Sam almost missed it, like the gentlest push on a swing. The earth seemed to slowly recede rather than fall away, each meter of altitude gained with peaceful grace. The morning air grew cooler and fresher as they rose, carrying the scent of wild thyme and sage from the valleys below. The burner's rhythmic sound became a comfortable companion to their ascent. Other balloons rose around them like a choreographed ballet, their colorful canopies catching the first rays of sunrise. The landscape below transformed with each meter of altitude, revealing new patterns and perspectives in the rocky terrain. The fairy chimneys cast long shadows across the valleys, creating an ever-changing map of light and darkness. The complete silence between burner blasts allowed them to hear the awakening world below. Mehmet pointed out landmarks and shared stories of the region's history, his quiet voice adding to the peaceful atmosphere. The basket's gentle rotation offered ever-changing views of the landscape, each one more breathtaking than the last. Other balloons floated at various heights, creating a three-dimensional dance in the morning sky. The sun continued its rise, washing the scene in increasingly warm light. To Sam's surprise, her fear began to transform into something else entirely, a profound sense of peace and connection. The height that had once terrified her now offered a perspective that filled her with wonder and gratitude. The gentle movement of the balloon became like a slow dance with the wind, each shift offering new views of the magnificent landscape. The morning light created a golden halo around the edges of the rock formations below. Fellow passengers shared quiet exclamations of delight as Mehmet guided them through valleys and past remarkable rock formations. Cameras clicked softly as everyone tried to capture the magic of the moment, though Sam found herself more often simply absorbing the experience. The warm light of sunrise painted everything in soft, dreamy colors that seemed to exist nowhere else in nature. The cool morning air carried the scent of adventure and possibility. The flight pattern followed the natural flow of air currents, creating a journey that felt both purposeful and serendipitous. Each new vista brought gasps of appreciation from the passengers, their shared joy adding to the magical atmosphere. The balloon's shadow danced across the landscape below, a dark shape that seemed to play hide and seek among the rock formations. The gentle wind carried them past ancient cave dwellings and hidden valleys. Time seemed to flow differently in the air, measured in breaths and heartbeats rather than minutes and seconds. The world below continued its morning routine, but up here they floated in a peaceful bubble of wonder and discovery. The sun's warmth began to balance the cool morning air, creating a perfect temperature for their adventure. The distant sound of dogs barking and roosters crowing drifted up from the villages below. The landing approached with the same gentle grace that had characterized the entire flight, as Mehmet expertly guided them toward their designated spot. The ground crew waited below, their movements precise and practiced as they prepared to welcome the balloon back to Earth. The morning had fully bloomed into a perfect day, with clear skies and gentle breezes continuing to bless their adventure. The scent of breakfast cooking drifted from nearby villages, a reminder of the earthly pleasures that awaited them. Touching down felt like being welcomed back by the earth itself, a gentle reconnection with solid ground. The crew's practiced hands steadied the basket as passengers disembarked, each one wearing a smile that spoke of transformation and joy. A table had been set up nearby with traditional Turkish breakfast items and glasses of fresh juice. The morning sun warmed their faces as they celebrated their achievement with new friends. Sam's hands had stopped trembling, she realized, as she accepted a glass of champagne for the traditional post-flight toast. Her body felt both energized and deeply relaxed, as if the flight had reset something fundamental in her nervous system. Fellow passengers shared contact information and promised to exchange photos, their shared experience creating instant bonds. The sounds of celebration and laughter filled the morning air. Back at her hotel, Sam took time to write in her journal, wanting to capture every detail while the experience was still fresh. The cool cave room provided a perfect space for reflection, its ancient walls witnesses to countless stories of transformation. Her words flowed easily, describing not just what she had seen, but how she had felt throughout the journey. The morning light filtered through her window, creating patterns that reminded her of their aerial dance. Messages from home began arriving as friends and family awoke to her triumphant photos and updates. Their words of congratulation and pride added to the warm glow of accomplishment that surrounded her. Emma's voice on the phone carried happy tears as Sam described the experience in detail. The sound of celebration in her sister's voice matched the joy in her own heart. The rest of the day passed in a peaceful haze of contentment as Sam explored the town on foot, seeing it now from a new perspective. Every view of the sky brought a smile to her face, memories of her morning adventure mixing with new confidence. Local shopkeepers and restaurant owners seemed to recognize the special glow of someone who had just completed their first balloon flight. The afternoon sun turned the rock formations into gold sculptures. That evening's sunset viewed from her hotel terrace held new meaning, as Sam now knew what the landscape looked like from above. Other hotel guests shared their own stories of adventure and discovery, creating a community of travelers united by their experiences. The cooling air carried the scent of evening flowers and cooking fires from the village below. Stars began to appear in the darkening sky, each one a reminder of infinite possibilities. In her quiet moments, Sam found herself planning future adventures with newfound enthusiasm and confidence. Her phone's photo gallery was full of images that proved her courage, each one a testament to her ability to overcome fear. The evening call to prayer echoed through the valley, its melody now familiar and comforting. Her heart felt full of gratitude for the fear that had led her to this moment of triumph. The next morning, Sam woke early again, this time to watch other balloons rise into the dawn sky from her terrace. Her eyes followed their ascent with understanding and appreciation rather than fear, recognizing the careful orchestration of their peaceful dance. The morning air carried the same scents and sounds she had experienced from above, now appreciated from a new perspective. Her heart felt permanently expanded by the experience. Letters to friends back home tried to capture the magnitude of her transformation, but words seemed inadequate to describe the profound shift in her perspective. Her fear of heights hadn't completely vanished, but it had transformed into something manageable and even beautiful. The act of writing helped her process the experience, each word a celebration of courage and growth. Her pen moved across the paper with the same gentle grace as their balloon had moved through the morning sky. Each meal became a celebration, every local dish tasted with the heightened appreciation of someone fully present in their experiences. Fellow travelers at her hotel sought her advice about their upcoming flights, and she found joy in sharing her story. The evening light cast long shadows across the ancient valleys, creating an ever-changing landscape of light and shadow. The gentle breeze carried the mingled scents of spices and wood smoke from nearby restaurants. The local cats seemed to sense her newfound peace, often choosing to curl up near her as she sat in the hotel's garden. Their soft purrs reminded her of Luna back home, while their confident independence reflected her own growing strength. The garden's roses bloomed in shades of pink and yellow, their petals catching the last rays of sunlight. The sound of distant conversations and laughter floated on the evening air. Her daily video calls with Emma now focused on planning their next adventure together, their shared excitement building with each possibility discussed. The cave room's natural coolness provided perfect comfort as they talked late into the night about future dreams. Stars twinkled through her window like scattered diamonds, while the moon cast soft shadows on the ancient walls. The peaceful night sounds of Cappadocia became a gentle lullaby. As her time in Cappadocia drew to a close, Sam found herself collecting small mementos, a delicate ceramic balloon, local spices, and photographs that captured the magic of her journey. Each item was carefully wrapped in soft paper and tucked into her suitcase, physical reminders of her transformation. The process of packing became a meditation on gratitude, each object holding precious memories. The afternoon sun created patterns on her bed as she organized her treasures. Her last evening was spent on the rooftop terrace, sharing Turkish coffee and baklava with new friends who had become like family. The setting sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, while swallows darted between the fairy chimneys. The warm breeze carried the sound of traditional music from a nearby restaurant. Promises were made to stay in touch and reunite in new adventures. The final morning dawned clear and beautiful, as if Cappadocia itself was bidding her a fond farewell. The familiar sound of balloon burners in the distance brought a smile rather than fear to her face. Her taxi driver took the scenic route to the airport, allowing her one last look at the magical landscape. The morning light transformed the rock formations into golden sculptures, a final gift from this remarkable place.